What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming.
Whoa, whoa,
I am your host. I'm your host, Andrew. Today is Monday, April 18th, 2022. I have two people with me today. First on video and audio, I have AlphaStoutland.
Hello, what's up, guys?
And audio only, I have Apocalypso.
Yo, whoa. I'm back. Your
He's
boy's back.
Baby. He's back,
Yep.
baby. So, well, Alpha, I've spoken to you last week, but Apocalypso, what have you been up to for the past, who knows how long?
That's a good question. A lot, actually.
Well, get into it.
Well, I'm working, which is important. But
Aren't we all?
in terms of games, I beat Persona 4 Golden several months ago, and I'm playing it again on Game Plus.
Okay.
I don't know if I actually started playing it the last time I was on the podcast.
I don't
You
know.
hadn't.
But it's a good game. It's like one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Probably the best RPG I've ever played. It's really good.
Okay.
Which one is it? Persona 4, you said?
Persona 4 Golden. Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot play Persona 5.
Why?
It's not on any consoles that I own.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a total PlayStation exclusive, right? They just brought, was it 3 and 4 to Steam?
I think it's just Persona 4 Golden to Steam.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many Persona games are there?
Actually, no. Persona 5 Strikers is on Steam too. There's actually
Okay.
I think there's actually 6 Persona games. Because I believe it's either Persona 1 or Persona 2 is two separate games. Like in two.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that the original games on the PlayStation, I think, are different than the most recent versions of them. I think they made some changes to them.
Yeah. I think
a friend of mine played the old Persona games, and I think he fell off the series. He's more so in, because Persona is a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series, and he was big on
Yep.
Shin Megami Tensei series, or as I think the fandom dubs it, Mega 10. So
Or
I
SMT.
usually know it. Yeah, so I usually know it as Mega 10 or visually SMT. I never hear anybody actually call it by its full name.
Yeah. The thing about okay, so there's actually 3 different versions of Persona 3, which is pretty crazy. There's regular Persona 3, and then there's Persona 3 FEMC, which has a female protagonist.
Mm.
Okay.
And then there's Persona 3 Portable, which is for the PlayStation Portable.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Did they ever re-release it?
not that I know of.
Okay.
So Persona 4 Golden is the only mainline Persona game that has left, that has gotten out of the PlayStation exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
But Persona 5 Strikers is a spin-off, and that's why it's on the Switch and Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a mainline title, which is how they get away with that.
Persona Strikers? Is that what you said?
Persona 5 Strikers, it's the
Is it a soccer game?
no.
Wait, it's not? I thought it
No,
was a sports game. No, I seriously thought it was a sports game.
It's basically Persona 5 Warriors.
Mm.
I was going to say, it's Koei Tecmo,
Yes.
right?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to because I love Hyrule Warriors, and I was playing it for the 3rd time because I played it on the Wii U. Then when it came out on the 3DS, it had new content, so I replayed it on the 3DS. And then when they put it on the Switch with all the new content, and I think they might have added more content again on the Switch version. I don't remember, but I got it
think
again.
so.
Yeah, I
So
think they did.
between the 3 versions, I probably have like hundreds of hours of gameplay.
Wow.
And the Switch one, I was actually going for like a somewhat 100% completion. and most of the adventure maps I had finished, and I think I had finally unlocked one of the last couple of characters because I was going from because you can just play each adventure map and just try to unlock the characters and then go move on to the next map. Although you might be seriously unleveled or underleveled in later maps because they increase in difficulty. They're really meant for you to really play one at a time. And so I finally unlocked one of the final DLC characters, which are in the later maps. So I played for a long time. So, but what I was getting at with even mentioning that was that I'm excited to play Fire Emblem Warriors. The new one coming out inspired me to
Hmm.
get the old one, which I don't know why I never got it before. So I got the special edition of that on the Switch when the new one was announced. I'm like, oh, I gotta get it. If it's anything like Hyrule Warriors, I'm gonna enjoy it. And I have Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. That's the next Warriors game I want to play after I finish this one, and I don't know when I'm gonna finish it because I'm I'm like knee deep in other games. I never finished Pokemon, and I think I'm at the end of Horizon. I'm at like 113 hours in now, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm ready to finish this game.
Which Pokemon? It was Shining Pearl.
Yes, or
Okay.
Diamond, brilliant,
Okay.
brilliant
Brilliant
Diamond.
Diamond. Okay.
And I'm not really enjoying it. I
Yeah.
don't know if
I.
I don't know if we spoke about this on here or not, but it just Generation 4 was not one of my favorite. It was probably one of my least favorite generations.
It's actually my younger brother's favorite generation. But I'm a big fan of Sinnoh. I like Sinnoh a lot. You can definitely tell it's aged
Mhm.
somewhat poorly, especially with the HP level. I mean, with the HP creep. I mean, there's the whole meme where, the Blissey takes a hit from close combat. It
Mhm.
takes like a minute and a half for her to die. So stuff like that. But thankfully that was fixed in
There
BDSP.
are
So
there are
that's
quality of
cool.
life improvements, but they also
Yep.
backtrack on improvements they've made in the
Yeah.
main series. And
Yep.
I'm not referring to. I mean, obviously, it's a step up from the original, but I mean, it's a step down from like Sword and Shield and other aspects. I feel like every time they make something new and innovative, they just take some of that and bring it to the next game.
Yep.
Like I remember in Sun and Moon, and I think Sword and Shield had this too. Whenever somebody used a move to increase or decrease stats, like a sword stance or something, the game showed you how much the stats went up or down, and it kept track of
Yep.
it. But in this game, they just tossed it out the window. It doesn't keep track of it for you anymore. I'm like, I'm used to the past two games actually giving me this
Hmm.
quality of life improvement. And then they backtracked on TMs, and so now you only have a limited number of TMs.
That's so stupid. That's
Although
so
they
stupid.
give like gym leaders will give you like 5 TMs. I'm like, well, just make it so they don't disappear.
Yeah.
And they got so instead of I do like instead of HMs, um, I I I think the HMs are treated like TMs or HMs or I forget. God, it's been a while since I picked it up because I'm on the Horizon train. But what I'm getting at is what I do like is in the poke catch device that you have, you can just activate a HM move, in which case it winds up calling in a wild Pokemon to like do the move for you.
Hmm.
So if there's a tree in front of you and you want to use cut, and none of your Pokemon know cut, you can activate it from your Poketch, and a like wild Bidoof will come in and cut the tree for you. So I do like that. So it gets rid
Yeah.
of the need to teach your Pokemon certain moves, but the TM thing just went backwards.
I I don't
Well,
know. I don't know exactly what TMs are. Are they basically like uh,
You use them to teach your
uh,
Pokemon
yeah.
moves.
Yeah, TM is short for technical machine. A hidden machine for years was the hidden machines. This was the hidden moves like cut, fly, surf that you use in the
Yeah,
overworld
they're
to
basic.
cut down trees, surfing on water. But the technical machines were the temporary use one time thing that you have to buy multiples of because you use them. The Pokemon like puts the disc to their forehead, and they learn the move. How that happens, I don't know. But yeah, how as a kid I was like, did they just put the CD to their head and just? But in Gen 5 and onward, they've made it to where it's once you get the TM, it's in your bag, and you can teach as many Pokemon Retaliate or Flamethrower or whatever move as much as you want, and forget it and reteach it as many times as you want. So that was a huge game changer and one of the things that made Gen 5 so great. But with what he's saying, where they brought back the temporary ones, yeah, you can get multiples, but why do that when you could just make it a single item that's reusable over and over again in your bag? It just
okay. So
I don't understand why they backtracked on that.
Yeah. So I'm used to
nostalgia.
I'm used to the Persona games have some.
Oh, you kind
of similar, I guess.
Yeah, you cut out for a minute.
Yeah, you kind of lagged for me, so I think my connection.
Okay.
Anyway, so the Persona series has something similar, I guess, called skill cards. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's an item that allows a particular persona to learn a particular skill that it probably wouldn't normally be able to learn. It's actually very useful if you want to try to customize your personas in particular ways, because you can fuse personas. I've actually managed to create some pretty neat personas in P4G using that. But like skill cards are the easiest way to customize your personas a lot, and unlike Pokemon, you only they only have 4 skills available at any time. You get 8. Each persona gets 8, and you can use multiple personas.
Okay.
You can. I think the max is like. I think the max can hold 10 personas at a single time.
Out again.
Uh oh. Okay. Uh-oh. Sorry. It's my connection.
Oh.
No, you're good. You said the maximum is 10 moves? 10 what?
10 personas.
Wow.
I think...
Dude, can you imagine a party of 10 Pokemon with 8 moves each?
I kind
competitive
of
would be absolute chaos.
Yeah, so like,
man,
they would introduce that in a new game, and then the next game
get rid of it the next.
Like,
yep.
Come on.
This game you can only use 3 moves and 4 Pokemon. Whoa!
Yes. Yeah, clearly the Persona series has spoiled me, and it's probably why I don't see the Pokemon series as being like any improvement whatsoever. It seems wildly inferior to the Persona series. Like even the Dragon Quest series just doesn't seem nearly as good as the Persona series. Like the Persona series has spoiled me. Like now I basically expect all RPGs to function like Persona games.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is kind of like Pokemon, where you can only have 4 attacks at one time, and it has skill trees as well, where you can improve certain aspects of your character. So that's cool.
So
it's kind of like a 11.
Okay, because I haven't played 11
yet. That's the only one.
No, Dragon Quest, you can have more than 4 moves. You can have like 10 or 20 or something like that.
Yeah, you can get a lot of moves. Maybe
I need to go back.
I haven't played 11
it's been a
yet,
while.
so I don't know 11, but I've played 1 through 9.
I've gotten to like I've made it pretty far in Dragon Quest 11.
Okay.
I've gotten to spoiler territory. So
I stopped playing right before I got Jade and the old man whose name fails me right now. But Rab. Okay. Yeah, I haven't found Jade and Rab. So but I need to get back. That's one of many games on my continued playlist. So
yeah, it's like I said, the Persona series has really. I really expected all RPGs to work like Persona games because
it set a standard that no other game can keep.
Uh
oh. Is your internet cut?
I missed what you said. Yeah, my internet.
Okay, it set a standard that no game can keep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna turn on my phone's mobile hotspot. Maybe that'll help make things stable.
I've had to do that before too.
In the meantime,
I'm probably gonna cut out briefly.
in the meantime, what have you been up to since last week, Alpha?
Well, we'll be talking about it very soon, but I did go to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2, so that's a big
Ooh.
thing. Um, and so that was cool. Got to head up to my brother's school Friday and got to help him come back for the weekend. And he graduated from the Goodnight Scholars, and so that's the scholarship that has given him a whole ride through college. So obviously we're proud of him because of his hard work, and just has done a fantastic job. And just excited to see where he goes with his career.
Mhm.
But it's just been a good weekend. You know, it was Easter weekend. Had a good time with the family.
Yep.
Had some good food for breakfast at the sunrise service and stuff. But yeah, Sonic 2 was really good, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So
Yeah.
we'll do non-spoilers and spoilers, more on that in a little bit. But if you have not seen it, go watch it. It is fantastic. So, but yeah, that's the biggest thing with me.
Yeah, like
I haven't touched my Switch, but I did make a little bit of a dent in my bulk order I'm trying to fix up. So I'm happy about that. And that's what I'm gonna be doing after I eat supper and I'm done with this. So I'm gonna be working on that some more tonight.
like where was this movie when I was a kid? Seriously.
Mhm.
Although I doubt the graphics would be anywhere near as good as they
Oh
are
yeah.
now. Like
Gosh.
Yeah,
I think
they
about
would have had to use like midgets in suits.
Hmm.
I'm thinking like
Or they could have gone like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit route, because I mean
That
that was in the 80s.
that
So
I would not have enjoyed that.
also I think the politically correct term is little people. But
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, just like the cartoon in the real
yeah,
world
I,
thing,
I'm
whereas where they're CGI now.
I'm
So
thinking like Power Rangers, how at the time those robots in the movie, I mean, in the show they were obviously people in suits, but in the movie they used computer graphics. And I remember looking back at it, if you looked at a clip from that movie now, it's like terrible. And I'm like, of course it's gonna, if Sonic 2 came out when we were kids, um, the graphics would be really bad.
oh
you
yeah,
know?
it's like this is like potato quality. It just no. So it's crazy to go back and you see how much stuff like Jimmy Neutron,
Mhm.
or well, the Jimmy Neutron movie, the show still aged pretty well, but the original movie and like you said, the old transformation sequences for the Zords, and it's like, dang, this used to be cutting edge technology. And so yeah, there was a time when Toy Story, the first Toy Story, was the cutting edge, and now we have stuff like the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, which looks like real water,
Mhm.
real grass, real rocks. And it's crazy how much, even in just a few decades, how much the quality of computer animation has improved. So
Although they could have taken the Space Jam route and made them like animated,
mhm.
like a Space Jam or Frame Roger Rabbit kind of approach where they're
Yep.
animated sort of 3D ish, but still 2D. Although it would have been strange because in those movies, those characters are specifically from the cartoons. So
Yes.
if you treated Sonic and his friends as like characters in the same realm or universe or whatever from different planets, it wouldn't have really made sense for them to be animated. They would have had to
Hmm.
approach the story very differently.
This is true. And would they have been more pixely since they were straight from their universe, and that's what the Looney Tunes look like in their universe. So
I don't
there's
Pixel?
know if
it just would have been a GOM.
I don't know if you've ever seen the BBC version of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Narnia. It's like a mini series.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
I saw it. It was awful. For like the battle scene, they had like two or three cartoon monsters that they're completely unexplained. It was completely unexplained that they were monsters, like that they're cartoons. Like they were cartoons for no reason whatsoever. Because they just didn't have the budget for like full like costumes. Like they didn't have the budget of like the Disney version of Narnia, so they just had like a few cartoons, and that was their battle. That was their battle scene. It
That's
was so
weird.
stupid.
I'll have to look that up on YouTube now because now I'm curious,
I just think
It's
about
morbidly
like
curious.
old shows from even before we were born and how they had like no computer graphics, so everything was done with
Yeah.
puppets and whatnot. Like
Yep.
they had to actually get someone who was big to play the Hulk because they couldn't computer animation
Yep.
to
Herman Munster and characters like that, to where you have to make them look like monsters
Yeah.
or look like whatever. Because, and I mean, and look at Star Wars. It's a good blend of, at that time, the cutting edge technology. But you look at Jabba the Hutt, R2D2, Yoda, Chewbacca. Those are all costumes. The Wampa, they're all costumes. They're all people in suits. They're all things that people made to act in and act through. And it's just crazy to see how those stand up even to the CGI of today.
Mhm.
Like Chewbacca and Yoda, especially,
Yeah.
just, yes, it's just
I'm
really good.
I'm in the middle of rewatching the show Knight Rider. And the self-driving sequences are really cool. They basically had to have like some. They basically had. I looked it up on Wikipedia. They basically had to have like. I think it was like one of the producers or somebody. Was like
Mhm.
driving the car like while like behind the seat or something. But they had to do it so that it looked like there wasn't anybody there. I don't know how you'd be able to drive a car safely like that. Uh,
Yeah.
but for like the other scenes where kids driving himself, they have like a mirror or something over the windshield. I don't know how that works either.
Oh.
Um,
I don't even know what
but
Knight Rider is.
it's seamless. So it's very amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, we should.
You've never heard of Knight Rider?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I
Okay.
don't know what it is.
Okay, that's
I
that's what that's where David Hasselhoff really, what was it, Baywatch or that David Hasselhoff got his start on?
I don't know.
It was one of the two. They were both in the 80s, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
One he's shirtless, one he's in a leather jacket, so
I should totally
Either
start a
way.
separate podcast for like movies and TV discussions.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, I
Um,
did have on my podcast a while back. I also included movies because one of the older co-hosts, she knew more about movies and less about games. So I winded up like adding the plus movies to them.
Mhm.
And we could talk about movies here as well, but I think the
Mhm.
focus
Yeah,
should mostly be
it's
gaming.
really, yeah, for sure. And I mean, we've had it before where we start talking about movies. I think we did this with Detective Pikachu when it came out,
Mm.
and stuff like that that relates to
It's still
pop culture, gaming, fictional characters, stuff like that. So
'cause-
we've done that some, but
yeah, because
yeah,
like
especially in the game of gaming movies.
because like I actually want to be a filmmaker, like as a career.
Mhm.
So like film is something that's really really means a lot to me, and I find like the movie making process to be really cool. Um, I
Well,
think
actually, movies is relevant too because if going back to what we were talking about last week, if it's 20th Century Fox or any company owned by Disney, I'm expecting to see it in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, I was gonna look up this week and I forgot, but
I looked it
I,
up
I forgot
and
to do that.
I looked it up and saw a couple, but I don't know what would be how to explain this. Like some stuff created by Disney might not necessarily be owned by Disney or 20th Century
Mhm.
Fox or whatever. Like the rights is like if they created a movie like I think Chronicles of Narnia, for example.
They did. I think they. I think it was Walden Media and Disney just helped produce it,
Right,
distribute it, something.
but the rights,
Um.
I don't know if they're owned by the original books, you
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah.
so like
here's this thing in front of me. I because I looked this up and I didn't close my phone. Oh, Planet of the Apes would be interesting. Planet of the Apes
Hmm.
was I think it was Fox. Um, Ice Age, and that kind of could fit in a
Oh yeah.
Disney-ish setting because it's very cartoony. Um, a lot of the Marvel stuff like Fantastic Four, but
Mhm.
I'm not expecting. I'm expecting a reboot of that,
Mhm.
probably more in line with the MCU when they tell their versions because Fantastic Four is coming. And I don't think they would give us Deadpool because that the whole purpose of that is very R-rated, you know.
Yeah.
Avatar,
so
James Cameron's
Avatar could
Avatar.
work.
Um, they're planning 4 sequels between 2020 and 2025. I
I don't
still
know how to
think
make
it's
that.
I still think it's possible to see like an Alien and Predator, but they have to be completely like retold. Yeah,
Overhauled,
to like a
basically.
kidified version of them. Like no more
Yep.
It
chest
would it
bursters,
wouldn't work.
or like pretty much it wouldn't work. Um,
It's
and
like
if we
trying to put
got
my
some,
it's like trying to put my Shiranui in Smash.
Yeah,
There's so much inherent sexual imagery with the aliens that it just wouldn't work in Kingdom Hearts.
I don't really think there's much sexual imagery with the aliens.
sexual.
I mean,
I was
it
talking about that.
is designed to be have some sexual undertones, so it wouldn't
Really?
work. Yeah.
I had
Hmm.
heard that on Twitter, and I was like,
I don't
I
see
literally
it.
do not read that at all when I look at a xenomorph. I
I'm
look at like, oh, this thing's going to kill me with its
If
face. So,
anything, I can see them redesigning them as heartless versions,
Mhm.
and taking away any of that imagery. But I don't see that imagery. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the idea of chest bursters.
Yeah,
Like they're
Yeah.
not gonna have things bursting out of people's chests in Kingdom Hearts.
yeah.
Um,
And we had talked about that last week, where you could have like the darkness in someone's heart
yeah,
coming out
they
and
can
making form as a heartless or
they
something.
can
So,
totally do it in a more like spiritual essence sense, where like a
Mhm.
heartless esque alien coming out of someone's
Uh-oh.
heart or chest. I would refer to it maybe as like a heart burster, I said last time. But like they would, if they did something like that, they would not be able to discuss like how they worked without the heartless. Like they would have to completely
yeah.
overhaul that to the point where it really is like their version of Alien.
hmm and then at that point, it really wouldn't be Alien and Predator.
Right.
It'd just be like a sanitized, heartless PG version of it. So,
But
yeah.
a
And
couple
as cool as the Xenomorphs and the Predators are, I don't think that would fit like something like Back to the Future or Avatar would. So, but
but
yeah,
I'm gonna go
Ice Age would be
step
cool.
away real
Rio would
quick.
be cool.
okay.
hmm
By the way,
What do you
the
say?
birds that Rio is based on are now extinct. So
No, I knew they were like extinct. They were basically extinct in the movie. Sadness.
We are missing a franchise that is Lucasfilm, and that's Indiana Jones.
Hmm, that could be really dope.
but
That would be really cool.
but another idea that crossed my mind um, is the live action Disney movies, because if they want to have like the world of reality and unreality, they can put the the what's the word, the live action versions as like the reality slash unreality version. I think Nomura did confirm what I speculated, was that each like the reality is a matter of perspective. So if you're from unreality or Verum Rex and or whatever it's referred to as, to like if me and you were inhabitants of unreality, to us that's reality, and where Sora came from is unreality.
hmm
So I I think that's
hmm.
interesting. So that would mean that, I mean, that kind of just goes hand in hand. What they could really do is treat the reality that we've known of Kingdom Hearts as the cartoony reality, and the this unreality where Verum Rex is the like realistic reality, like two different dimensions. I guess there's like a cartoony and a realistic one. Um, but I don't know how feasible that is, because we have some realistic stuff in Kingdom Hearts, like
hmm
already, like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. But I guess, but that's what makes me think we can have some cartoony stuff in unreality, in which case we could see stuff like Ice Age,
Hmm.
and so I don't know.
hmm
But I think to see live action versions, which means if Maleficent finds her way there, she can meet a realistic version of Maleficent by oh Angelina
Angelina
Jolie,
Jolie,
and
dude,
she can voice that
huh?
realistic version of Maleficent, and like the two
Hmm.
can scheme together, you know?
That could actually be really cool, and then it would be a good workaround.
Yeah,
It's like they're both canonically the same character, just in different
right.
universes. So that's cool.
In
That would be
in
actually really
fact, they
cool.
would have their own, like, because she might make her own villains club, you know? So like
Mhm.
where our Maleficent has Pete, her Maleficent might have a different Disney villain as her lackey. You know,
Yep.
I don't know who it would be. For all we know, it's like Scar, the realistic version of Scar. Like I have no idea. You know,
They should have
like
the
I don't know.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
The wimpy Jafar, yeah.
They should
Yeah,
have the Sorcerer's Apprentice in Kingdom Hearts 4.
the Sorcerer's
With
Apprentice. Which
oh,
one?
like the live action one with what's
Oh,
his name
Nicolas
from How to Train
Cage,
Your Dragon and
yeah.
Nicolas Cage. That
Jay Baruchel.
that could work.
I like the
That's like
Yeah,
one of my
yeah.
idea.
favorite movies.
I like the idea of this reality. I don't know how to differentiate them,
Ooh.
but I like the idea of that one being mostly live action, realistic with some cartoony, and in ours, it's like where we have been so far is mostly cartoony and less
I
live action. What
I
what are
I
you smiling for?
I know of one live action movie. I'm I am gung ho for some underrated Disney movies, and one of my favorites that I feel like nobody talks about as far as live action movies goes is Race to Witch Mountain. That movie
I don't
is
know what that
fantastic. The one
is.
with The Rock
Literally never
and
heard
Anna
of that.
Sophia Robb and
It sounds
what's his name?
familiar.
Ludwig, I forget his name. Alexander Ludwig
Mm.
and Gina Carlo Gugino. That is a really good movie, and that would be really cool because it's about two kids that are actually aliens that team up with the taxi driver, and they go to Witch Mountain, which is a military base, and they have a big alien encounter, and there's a spaceship, and so that I feel like could work. That would be cool, kind of like Lilo and Stitch and Deep Space, which he's already worked with, that Sora's already worked with, but oh, not Sora, but Ventus Aqua and Terra, but Sora's teamed up with them as a summon.
Alright,
But
so
so that could be cool.
I'm so
So
lost.
I was thinking of live action Disney movies. I was like, Yo, Race to Witch Mountain would be hype. So Herbie would be interesting, even as a summon, because he is a live action character. That would be
We
cool.
get Lindsay Lohan
The
in there.
lovely.
Was that the
Uh,
movie with Lindsay Lohan?
she had the modern one, but there was like 3 or 4 older movies. Don Knotts was in a few of them, I think, but he's been an icon since like the 50s, and they did Herbie Fully Loaded with Lindsay Lohan for
Mm.
like the new generation of fans. So
Huh.
I mean, that was still a good movie. I haven't seen the originals that much, but yeah, the one with Lindsay Lohan was actually not terrible. But I don't think they'd get Lindsay Lohan for this. They could do Freaky Friday with her and Jamie Lee Curtis. That'd be
Is that
interesting. And then
Disney
Sora
owned?
spots bodies with one of them. Yeah, the
Mm.
original Freaky Friday and the revamped Freaky Friday are both Disney. So
Oh,
Swiss Family Robinson. We could have Heartless Old Yeller. So it just
I don't like the way you think.
it hurts. It
Old
hurts.
Heller.
Oh man, what would you do? Like, how would you make that where he doesn't die? Does he like become a heartless and Sora unlocks his heart and he's free from instead of getting attacked by a rabid wolf, he gets attacked by a heartless? He just and then you have to save him from the heartless. I mean, I just uh that'd be both satisfying and sad at the same
Okay,
time because Old Yeller's a very
I
sad
mean,
movie.
Scar died in
But Scar's a
Lion
villain
King,
though.
and they brought him back as a ghost, right? In like
That
one
is
of
true.
the.
Yeah, they brought him back as the heartless and then multiple ghosts formed into ground
Did they
shaker or
bring
ground
him
breaker,
back in the
whatever it
first
is.
game, in the same game that he died in though?
Yep, yep.
Which was
Because you
weird.
go through the main story of each world, and then you go back later, and it unlocks
Oh,
more
that's
stuff for you
right.
to do. Like the first time you fight Pete with the two big, like I think it's a fire and ice heartless, and then you go back the second time, and that's when you fight Genie Jafar. And then with Scar, you defeat him as a heartless the first time, and then the second time Simba's having doubts about him being king and all that stuff, and then you have to team up with him because Scar is showing up all across the Pride Lands for some reason, and it's multiple shadow versions of Scar. And then at the end, they all like congregate, that all thousands of them, or however many there are,
Mhm.
into this big heartless ground shaker. So, which is my personal favorite heartless from the series, but it's
Mhm.
just really cool boss battle. He's huge, but yeah,
Well, I think that King Hearts 4 has a lot of potential, and for some reason,
it really does.
I keep wanting to like because Fantastic Four is one of the movies that Fox owns, and they're gonna remake it as Disney. I keep wanting to be like, oh, the four in Kingdom Hearts 4 has something to do with like Marvel Phase 4 or Fantastic Four, but it's like,
Huh?
Nah.
probably not.
Since we're on the subject of
Fantastic Hearts 4.
okay, since Since we're on the subject of like Kingdom Hearts and like the multiverse, concepts are very much hand in hand.
Yeah.
That is
I've
true.
been making, I've been thinking more about like my crossover ideas, like my mega crossover idea. Um, I thought I thought of a concept for the multiverse, which allows for the concept of fiction to exist.
Hmm.
Uh, Basically, uh, the Earth we're on now is the original Earth, and when a fictional idea becomes sufficiently advanced, enough to basically get like a video game or movie or TV or something like that, some kind of like graphical um, representation, that universe, a new universe is formed, and
Okay.
I've thought of something very similar. I've
and
thought of the opposite, where like the that world or universe already exists, and people get thoughts about it like as almost like a sixth sense of just like knowing like what's going on in a different universe somehow.
yeah, like a lot of people came up with that idea. I think
Oh, gee, thanks.
I'm not.
It's like you're inspired by what's actually out
Yeah,
there and putting it to pen and
Yeah,
paper.
so but
Yeah,
like
of course that'd be a good
I
story,
think
but
my idea is
that's interesting too.
kind of unique, but basically my idea for like different universes, they don't exist on like different planes. Universes are arranged like galaxies in our universe, where they're just
Hmm.
sort of hanging out, and there's space between them. You can travel between them, you can travel between like so star systems or galaxies
Mm.
or stuff like
Like
that.
in the same plane of existence, like there, it's feasible to actually get to them, or are you saying that they're not, and they're in their own separate like plane of existence
They're
where it would
they're on
you
they're on the same plane of existence.
okay, so you can feasibly reach there if you can travel like millions of light years per second or something like
But
that.
I also thought like maybe there's like a barrier between like each universe, that is basically unbreachable without like sufficient energy to do so. And
Hmm.
basically the most efficient way would be to create a portal.
Hmm.
Um, so that's basically my
You can imagine a portal to the point where it becomes realistic enough to appear before you. I'm
okay.
going to imagine a world where somebody comes to visit me. Where are you?
Okay, I see this idea has some implications that I did not anticipate.
it's that's kind of how it works in Kingdom Hearts because they're all like their own individual worlds, but it's almost like a little bubble hub world
Hmm.
in the grand expanse
Right.
of the like ultimate world. And so you can literally fly to Ariel's world, Jack Skellington's world, Stitch's world, Lion King world, whatever. So it's kind of like that where they all exist on their own, but they're all part of one big almost like multiverse world. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like how that is, except your means of transportation is not like light years. It's a gummy ship.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like a little ship you just pew pew rocks and you fly in between worlds
Pew
with.
pew
So
rocks.
mhm.
Sure. Yeah.
Pew pew.
Sometimes those are big rocks, so you need to really pew pew.
Pew pew.
Anyway, didn't you say we need to talk about Sonic 2?
Yeah. You want to talk about
Yeah.
Sonic 2 a bit before we go? I'm very wary about spoilers. Like, I really don't want to discuss spoilers too much because
Oh,
Mhm.
I
if
had
anyone hasn't watched it, I don't want them to just tune out.
because
You
I
know,
I kind of figured we could maybe all three of us could do like a spoiler discussion video on my channel. I can just sort of record
we
that.
could do that.
Um,
We could do a separate like spoiler discussion.
I figured I had the same qualms too. Maybe we don't have to discuss it on the podcast. There's no reason we have to discuss it on the podcast. We can just sort of do like a separate spoiler discussion video on my channel,
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
you guys can promote it. Maybe that'll help grow my channel. I'm only over like I'm only a little over 100 subscribers.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not that many myself, so
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, we can, and that would work out good too, because then it gives us each time to talk about spoiler free
Mhm.
stuff, what we thought about the movie, because we are going to try and wrap up here in a little bit. But yeah, that
I mean, have you
I'm down for it.
listened
So
to the videos I made after I saw the movie?
I watched the one about the plot hole. I have not
Okay.
watched the one about Eggman yet. So I started it. I just haven't finished it. I
I
just
think
got
the
tied
plot
up.
hole is as a result of maybe like the people who worked on the comic probably got an earlier version of the draft, maybe like an earlier, yeah, like an earlier version of the movie's draft, and so was we're working off of that, and then they probably changed like maybe they changed the reasoning for Tails coming to visit Sonic or the specifics behind it, and so they didn't have enough time to update the comic. That's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason for like inconsistencies and stuff. Okay,
Which means it's probably no longer canon.
or yeah, man, that's probably it. There's actually something else I wanted to talk about,
Hmm.
if you don't mind. This is more pertaining to me, so you won't exactly be able to relate to this too much. Um, if you allow me to continue,
Okay, it depends on what it
Hmm.
is, but okay.
it's a new expansion for Age of Empires 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I know you guys haven't
I
played.
was a little worried. I didn't know what you what you were getting at.
Nah,
It is still gaming related, so that's good.
but it's I know you guys haven't played that game, but basically what they're doing is previously in the first fan expansion, and actually the first official expansion since the first one made released back in I think 2001, and the first actual expansion after that came out in like 2013.
Hmm.
Um, that one was called the Forgotten, and one of the civilizations that it added was the Indians.
Hmm.
Like they
Okay.
literally lumped all of India into one civilization, and then just
Is
called it a
that good
day.
or bad?
What'd you say?
Is that good or bad?
It's it's pretty bad. I mean, like it'd be like if you had an entire civilization called the Europeans,
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
because
Gotcha.
because that encompasses a lot of different
because
Europeans.
India has basically as much cultural diversity as
Hmm.
as Europe does. Um,
Okay.
Can they do an
The Indians in the
up?
game were specifically representing the Muslim gunpowder empires like the Delhi Empire and
Mm,
or the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire, which is why they had the Middle Eastern architecture originally. But now in one of the other HD expansions, they got a new architecture unique to them.
mm,
But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. What they're doing in the new expansion is they are adding three other Indian civilizations.
mm.
Um,
Are they just gonna call everyone Indian?
no,
Or are
no,
they
that
gonna
would be so.
update it to adjust to say maybe like East Indian or this Indian or something like
Actually,
that?
what they're doing is they're renaming the current Indians the Hindustanis,
Hmm.
which is basically
Okay.
basically the Persian, like the basically the Persian invaders who took over India. That's what they called India, the
Hmm.
Hindustan. Um,
Interesting.
and they're adding three other Persian or Indian civilizations: the Dravidians, the Bengalis, and the Gurjaras. Now, none of those names probably mean anything to you because you probably haven't studied
Nope.
history. But
Nope. I was not always the best at history in
I'm
school.
terrible at
oh,
history.
history is one of my
That was the
favorite
one
subjects.
thing I always stumbled on in school. I just like I gotta remember dates and stuff. Like, or maybe it was just my school system. I don't know.
So
But
Hmm.
I was fine in
A
other
teacher can make
subjects.
all the difference in the world
That's
too.
true. But I also, um, I was better in and pretty good in like other subjects. So maybe it could have either been the way it was taught or maybe it was me. I don't know.
yeah,
But I not to interrupt what you were saying, but
yeah,
just
like history is one of my favorite subjects. Or history, yeah. So I love history.
okay.
Um, Mostly because of Age of Empires too. But uh, but anyway, so that's what they're doing. They are splitting up the very broad Indian civilization into four civilizations by basically renaming the current Indian civilization and adding. They're tweaking quite a bit of its traits. The former unique unit of the Indians was called the Elephant Archer.
Mm,
Basically, an archer on an elephant. That's all it was.
That is so cool.
It was
that
basically
is interesting.
it was the thing is the elephant archer was very slow, had low attack, low range, was extremely expensive. It was it was basically just a legacy unit that he just kept around because like the original mod used it for them. Uh and that's but what they're doing is they're actually taking away the elephant archer from the Hindustanis and making it like a regional unit. What's actually really funny, so they made the elephant archer a regional unit, but now the Hindustanis, they're formerly Indians. They were the ones that added elephant archers to the game to begin with, but now they can't even train them.
Hmm.
Like when they become a regional unit, they will be unable to train them, which kind of sucks. Um, but I know you guys don't play the game, but that's what they're gonna be doing. So that's
I was trying to be a good listener, but I had nothing to
Mhm.
contribute. But I had to because I know it works the other way around when I'm talking and I'm the only one who played a
Mhm.
game.
Yep, it's same thing if you talk about Resident
Yeah.
Evil or if I talk about Pokemon to dance. I mean, it's the
yeah.
same
So
thing.
like
So it's all right.
yeah, you guys were talking about things I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
just listening. So
Somebody listening out there will hopefully have liked one of the things we talked about.
Mhm.
um,
There's another guy out there that's just like, yeah, Agent Burst to update.
Yeah.
Yes, they're finally creating the
he's
Indians.
like,
So
really?
there's someone out there
They're
just
doing
as
other
passionate about it as
Indians
you
too?
are, man.
Awesome.
Yes.
oh,
And I don't mean I'm not trying to put you down. There are people out there
Yeah.
that are going to be as excited about this
yeah,
as you are.
I
So
get
it's cool. It's
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody's going to like a different kind of genre of gaming and stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
So, I mean, what are you guys playing now, or like you think you're going to be playing before next week?
Nothing. I'm taking a break from my Switch until I get this Bolt. It's a self main. I put it on myself. I'm not touching my Switch until I get this Bolt put up. So
Bolt?
that's bulk Pokemon cards. So yeah,
yeah,
manage your money and manage your spending and manage your what items you buy when it comes to cards because it packs up fast. So yeah,
Manage your adulting.
I'm reaping it now.
I
so.
wanna get the new Kirby game, but I've been spending like
Mm,
a lot of money lately. Like not that much, but like spending more than I want to. I tend to be very frugal with my money. I don't like to spend money if I don't have to.
Mhm.
That's
Like
good.
most of the things I buy using my money are video games and candy.
Smart man.
Candy.
Like snacks, like snack food.
Candy.
Like yeah, like
Candy.
But
I really should,
Have some candy.
I really should cut down on candy, but like I buy like snack food and stuff with like my money, and I occasionally buy video games, but lately I've been spending a lot of money, so I haven't gotten the Kirby game, which I actually really want to play, but I
Hey, I want to try it out.
could always wait till Black Friday and it might be on sale.
I actually spoiled myself with the new Kirby game, just so I could design some spirits.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I kind of know how it turns out now. So
Is the final boss another Eldritch
Eldritch, yeah.
horror?
yeah, basically.
No, it's just like a running gag at this point.
I mean, it isn't really an eldritch horror, but
Oh, you know what? We should recap really quickly because I remember when Sora was announced in Kingdom Hearts, you wanted to discuss that with us, and now since we have a few minutes left, and we've kind of recapped on Kingdom Hearts. What were your thoughts, Apocalypso, on Sora being the last DLC fighter for Kingdom Hearts?
the Well, I never played Kingdom Hearts, so I didn't really care
I
much.
mean, the last DLC fighter for Smash Bros. Not
Yeah,
kidding.
I know what you meant. I didn't really play Kingdom Hearts, so I didn't really care all that much because I'm not really a Disney fan. Um,
Mhm.
so
How
Kingdom Hearts really
dare
didn't mean
you?
much to me. But I was excited for Alpha because he likes Kingdom Hearts.
Mhm.
Uh,
Your boy popped off.
yeah.
You weren't excited for me. I'm a big fan too. In fact, I would argue I'm
Like
a bigger fan than Alpha.
You definitely are. You've played more games than I have. My brother has played more games than I have. It's just,
And I
I mean, it's like I say I'm a Halo fan, but I've only played four, and I played I think three with some of my friends over the years. So I'm a fan, and I love the Halo series, but I have not played every
hmm,
single game like I have stuff like Pokemon, and even that I haven't played every single game. So I've never played the first generation of games. I've not played any of the mystery dungeons besides Red and Blue
mhm.
Rescue Team. I haven't played any of the Ranger games or anything like that.
I
So
would argue that you
I'm
wouldn't.
still a
I
fan,
would
but
argue that you wouldn't have to be. You wouldn't have to play every game in a game series to be like a really big fan. I mean,
yep.
I've played most Sonic games, but a lot of the classic ones I haven't because growing up. I mean, growing up, I played the games while they were new, but I didn't have access to every game. Like I didn't have a Sega uh, CD, so I couldn't play Sonic CD until it was re-released on the Sonic Gems collection back in the day. I missed out
Dang.
on like almost every Game Gear game. Like I know what happens. I've looked it up. I've read the stories, and I got my timeline coming up. Like I think that proves enough that I'm like a huge Sonic nerd. But
Okay, so
like, mhm. You there?
yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So like I don't want to cut you off, but we are running out
Hmm.
of time, and I did want to
Yeah.
say this. I think the most the recent announcement I was probably the most excited for from Nintendo is Earthbound coming to
Oh.
Super Nintendo Online.
Yep.
Like I actually like I basically yelled, and I never yell for like anything.
Yeah, I've never heard you get that
Like
loud. Yeah.
the last time I yelled was when Banjo got in Smash. I yelled like the leakers were correct. That's what I yelled. Um,
Yep.
so I've literally never I'm a very chill guy when it comes to reactions. Like I don't really react to much of anything.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't know why I record reaction videos because not really much reactions, especially without my face.
I was hyped for Banjo, and I never played Earthbound. I would like to. I really hope for the fans that Mother 3 eventually somehow comes out. I
Yeah.
understand probably the reasons why, because I don't know too much about it, but I've heard people talk about it, and it sounds like there's some things that happen in it that are like not politically correct. For to not really dive into it, I'll just leave it at that. And so I can get like Nintendo not wanting to put that out there, but I'm
Yeah.
curious if there's a way around it, like how like a lot of old Looney Tunes cartoons had a lot of, let's say, not so politically correct stuff in it. And they got around it by releasing them on DVD sets with a message in the beginning saying, this is a product of its time. It doesn't reflect our current, like, thoughts, I guess. So I'm wondering if they could do something like that with a game, like Mother 3 is a game that came out at this time and it doesn't reflect our current thoughts and leave it at that. And maybe everyone wins. I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I hope for the fans they get something Mother 3 related. Whether they go in and take out a part of the game or I don't know. I don't know. But
They
yeah.
should they should remake all of the Earthbound games, all of, like the Mother games as like 3D.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be neat. I mean, I would
Which have you
probably
seen
play
the
it then.
Which have you seen the? I think it's artsy omnis. It's like Curiomatic, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called. Their fan trailer that
Yeah.
looked really
Yeah,
cool.
I
The
saw
animation
that.
style was
Wait, is he still
fantastic.
doing stuff?
Yeah, he's not doing Smash
Yeah,
stuff,
I
but he's
haven't
doing other stuff.
seen
Yeah.
any of his stuff since Smashified. Like one
Actually,
of the last Smashifieds.
it's actually really interesting. Smashify is one of the things that actually got me into the Shantae series.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
That was my cat laptop.
That was your what?
I was. If you heard this, now it's not going to do it. But I just had my hand slide
Oh.
across the thing that I have my laptop sitting on. So if someone was there like, "Ew, he farted," I didn't.
Oh.
So
I thought
and
you
it
said
all
it
goes
was,
downhill at the
I
end.
thought you said it was your cat and laptop and
Yeah.
called it like a cat
I don't
top.
know what I was just like, oh, it's not a fart.
I thought I heard cat.
yeah, I thought I heard that too.
Yeah,
I think I said cat.
that's my cat top.
You know, I actually I have a film channel that I haven't done anything with. Like I'm planning on doing like film reviews on it and like eventually make my own short films. And I thought maybe we could have like a separate podcast for like specifically just for like movies and TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
On that channel, I don't know. I haven't done anything with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway,
sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, but we can. Now we are obviously at the end, and we have not talked about Sonic 2. So
yeah, I think we
might have to we have to save that for that video.
Yeah, I think we can have a spoiler discussion on Dan's channel,
Yep.
or Apocalypso's channel. Oops.
Because there's lots to spoil.
Yeah. Apocalypso / Dan.
I mean,
But yeah, because I worry about putting spoiler stuff in a podcast, because I don't want
Especially
someone to be like,
Sonic.
"Oh crap!"
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to hear that, you know.
It's like I came in at that time.
like,
And so yeah,
like,
I
oh,
can
let me
understand.
check out this channel. Oh my god, they just spoiled Sonic, you know, like they didn't
Yeah.
get the warning. So
yeah,
but
definitely.
okay, yeah, let's plan for that, and I guess that'll be it for tonight. Anybody got anything they want to leave off with, or
No.
Go watch Sonic 2 so you don't have to worry about the spoiler review.
we'll watch Sonic 2 because it's good.
Oh yeah,
Time,
that too.
time to eat dinner for me too now. So
Yep, I got
Pizza.
You
All
having
right.
pizza? I've leftover
Yep.
chicken.
Ooh, hey, chicken's good.
Sometimes.
Chicken
know
on
what I'm
pizza's
gonna
good.
Anyway,
Taco
With
Bell's
fried
bringing
chicken on
back
pizza.
its Mexican pizza.
I know. I'm so happy. I'm a fat kid.
what
I
is
know.
Mexican pizza?
They need Taco Bell. Y'all need to bring back the Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos. Just saying. That was the dumbest thing y'all ever did. Okay.
We're talking about things that fast food restaurants need to bring back. McDonald's needs to bring back the Arch Deluxe.
I feel like we're gonna
The what?
get on another
Arch
tangent.
Deluxe, the best burger.
We're gonna get on another tangent. So we
I
should
know.
probably
Yep,
finish
that's
it.
very true. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm hungry.
I wish Rick and Morty attempted to bring back the Arch Deluxe instead of the Szechuan sauce, but like, oh, the burger was so good. Just look it up. Look up the Arch Deluxe and see what was on it. It was like a better Big Mac.
Okay.
There was even like bacon on it and like a different kind of sauce. Oh, it was so good. Oh,
It's got a special sauce.
Anyway,
the best sauce.
I think we,
All right.
Bacon makes everything better.
I
though.
think we really should
Yeah.
stop.
All right. All right.
Because I need to go eat some
Yeah.
food instead of talk about
So,
it.
you know what? All the links to everybody's channels is in the description, and we will catch you all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Adios.